Hi guys, Rachel here with another update. I'm just going to show you some of the things that I got in May and June and some of the things that I've done. So I'm feeling quite a bit better than, from the last time I recorded. I'm a little scatterbrained because I just feel a little overwhelmed. As I've told you, I've been extremely busy, but I have all these videos that I want to make, and I'm running out of time because I promised, well, I didn't promise, that's so dramatic. I wanted for myself to do like a May and June wrap up, and I sort of did that in my last video, but I only talked about a few things. But anyway, I have some more events lined up this month, like my family visiting, and I can't do that when they're here. So I feel pressed and pressured. But anyway, I'm sorry I'm so rambly. I'm feeling a bit better from the last time I talked to you all. I just had to reconcile myself with some stuff. This video is just going to be about stuff. I had to reconcile myself with certain things that are in the past, certain things that I grieve or wish I still had, and I had to reconcile myself with things that I can change and things that I can't change. And the things that I can't change, I just need to learn how to adapt to, which I should know given my own history and the challenges that I've been met with. I'm quite adaptable to change, so I should maybe pat myself on the back. But yeah, I'm feeling quite a bit better. For example, I've gotten out and I've socialized a little bit. Like, we just came back from a birthday party, one of my boyfriend's friends and colleagues. It was his 60th birthday. It was actually a surprise birthday party, which I don't think I've ever attended one of those before. So he was really surprised, and it was so adorable. And he's another musician, a bass player, and he's a huge Beatles fan. So the party was all Beatles themed. It was so cute and fun. And I saw some people that I haven't seen in years, and they all plan on going to my boyfriend's next gig in Cambridge. So that'll be fun. So my daughter also had fun. She got to swim in the pool, and she met a little friend who plays violin, and so they talked about music and Greek mythology. So cute. But yeah, things have been a bit better. So where to start? So I've mentioned how I've been really busy. End of the school year, crazy times. My daughter's dance recital was a couple of days after the last day of school, and then the day after her dance recital was my boyfriend's birthday. Dance recital, always great. Always a bit of stress, getting their hair right and everything, getting there on time. But, the recital just shows the fruit of their labor, and it's great. It's always great. But yeah, she had like 5 days of dance this year, which was quite a bit. So we were just a little sigh of relief after that was done. So end of June, we went to the Peabody Essex, and I hadn't been there in years, and I don't know why. I mean, I'm there all the time, but it was shut down during the pandemic for a while, and every day that I thought of going, they weren't open, limited hours. But we were lucky enough when we went recently to visit the Ying Yu Tang house, the Chinese house. So if you've ever been to Salem and you've never visited the Peabody Essex Museum or the Chinese house, you should really do yourselves a favor. So I'm going to be inserting some photos. But I had been there years ago, my mom and my sister had come to visit me. And this was probably like 10 years ago. And the last time I'd been to the Chinese house, right? And I felt the same feeling sweep over me this time. I just wanted to live there with that open courtyard. Oh my gosh, I love the design. I love how they're at one with nature, like bringing nature in, and just everything about it just felt so perfect. I mean, my daughter was like, well, it's really beautiful, but the rooms are really small. And I'm like, it's a different way of living. And, you know, my boyfriend's like, right, like you don't have like, you know, 10 pairs, 20 pairs of shoes. Right. But anyway, if you don't know the history, you can look it up. It's pretty fascinating. It belonged to the same family for, I think, like 8 generations, something like that, 200 years. And it was last occupied in China in the 1980s, maybe 1982. And then they dismantled it and brought it here to Salem and reassembled it on the grounds of the Peabody Essex Museum. And it's just such a special place. And we were told that the family who owned the house, they actually came to visit last year. And that's really cool. I mean, that must be really wild, right? To go to another country to visit your house that you lived in as a child. It's now a museum. And many of the family belongings, like, they're all on, you know, housed in the museum and very sort of like naturally placed. You know what I mean? I'm going to be sharing photos. So just, oh my gosh, just such a wonderful time and such a beautiful day. And the other reason we were there was I wanted to see the Moby Dick exhibit, as I mentioned in my last video. I'm reading Moby Dick. And if you want to hear my thoughts on Moby Dick so far, you can watch that. It's somewhere around the middle of the video. I don't know. I'm too rambly. But that was great. My daughter and I sat in this little boat they had, and they had all these different editions of Moby Dick. And she loved this illustrated book so much that we bought a copy. But I will show that to you. I will talk about that later. We've been reading it together at night. It's been fun. It's like a picture book. It's awesome. And my daughter was really enchanted with the history of the museum, the older part of the museum. Like, it was, what is it called? The East India Marine Hall or something, like the Maritime Museum, which has been there in Salem since the late 1700s. So, you know, like all the mariners, that all of the things that they brought back, you know, from other countries and everything. And I was told by someone, like a family friend who used to work there, that you're only seeing 1/10 of what they actually have. But it's a very beautiful place. It has a very special energy. Like, everything that you would want to find in Salem is in this museum. Well, for me personally, because I love history and I love old stuff. But it's amazing. Really, you should go if anyone watching ever travels to Salem on vacation, or maybe you live nearby and you've never been. I don't know, but just go. It's a great place, and it's got this energy, like I was saying, like you feel sort of like you're on a ship. It's so cool. So that was a fun experience. So, like, let's see, what else has happened? Did I take any notes here? Yeah, like, I think I talked about my partner's boyfriend. What in the world am I talking about? My my boyfriend's birthday already in my last video, and how I bought him records at the new record store that we found there. So let's see. I will talk about some of the movies that we watched, and just very briefly, because I just feel like I'm running out of time, and I feel like do I talk too much? So we watched a bunch of movies, and I didn't bring them all in here. Moonrise Kingdom. I love Wes Anderson. I don't know as I really have to say too much about this, but it's such a cute, quirky little film. One of my favorites of Wes Anderson's. And I just love the score, like all that beautiful Benjamin Britten music, and it's just a feast, a visual feast, musical feast. It's so sweet. These two little misfit kids like run away together and like want to get married. It's adorable. But if you don't know it, look it up. A Patch of Blue. This is directed by Guy Green, I believe, and it's 1965 maybe. This is a beautiful movie. Sidney Poitier and Elizabeth Hartman and Shelley Winters, who's always great. And it's not to give too much away, but it's the story of a blind girl, a blind woman actually, but she's sort of treated like a girl, and she lives in an abusive home, and she forms a friendship with Sidney Poitier's character here. And yeah, I'm not going to say anything more, but I mean, it says here on it, like, recommended for mature audiences. They mean that. I did show it to my daughter, who's 13, because I thought that it was okay for her to see. But, you know, it's your discretion, so. Empire of the Sun. One of my best friends from back home, she and we loved this movie. I think we watched it together. Like, we found out that we both loved it. And oh, I miss you. If you're watching this, you know who you are. But this is a Spielberg movie. What's interesting is that I think David Lean was actually set to direct this, and I could totally see him directing this movie, but it definitely has a Spielberg feel to it. Very beautiful film, and it stars a very young Christian Bale. I think it was his first role as a child. I forget how old he was when he made this. I don't remember, was he 9? I don't remember. But it's, you know, it takes place during the Japanese invasion of China, and it's all about you know, life in a prison camp. Like, this young boy gets separated from his family, so it's sort of like what survival does to you, like the effect of living in a prison camp, and those who seek to maintain their humanity and those who are only there to survive. I don't know. I'm not very well worded, but it's a very beautiful film. Summertime. This is David Lean. Again, you guys know how much I love David Lean. 1955. This is another Katharine Hepburn movie, and also Rossano Brazzi is in it. He's so handsome. So, not to give too much away, because I really don't want to give anything away, but Katharine Hepburn goes on vacation to Venice, and she's middle-aged, and she's alone. She's all alone. And throughout her stay, you can just see how alone she is. But she's determined to have a good time. And it just, I mean, Katharine Hepburn is so good. The way that her eyes just like well up with tears when she's looking at other couples at other tables, or just even other friends. It's all so familiar to, I'm sure, many of us. But yeah, she meets somebody. That's all I'm gonna say. But it's a beautiful film, beautiful, and especially if you love David Lean, Katharine Hepburn. If you've never seen this, yeah, To Be or Not to Be. This is directed by the great Ernst Lubitsch, and this is 1942, I think. This is not politically correct. This is stars Jack Benny and Carole Lombard. It's excellent. I think Mel Brooks did a remake of this, also very good. But yeah, they're making fun of the Nazis. but there's also, you know, some poignancy in it. But yeah, not politically correct, but it's so good. To be or not to be. I'm not going to say anything else about it because I don't want to be here all night. So we've been watching a lot of the films of Yasujiro Ozu. You guys know Ozu? So these are Japanese films. These films are all from the 1950s, maybe some are from the 1960s. And we've watched a handful of these, and I think it's striking that my daughter really enjoys them because they're really slow paced for a child. They're all about intimate family stories. I don't necessarily want to say dramas because they're not like overly dramatic. They're just, it's all about real things that happen to families and, you know, generation gaps and misunderstandings and trying to come to understandings. And they're really beautiful. And if you haven't heard of Ozu and you love foreign cinema, classic cinema, and all of the great directors, you should check them out. So we're gonna be watching some more of those for sure. Okay, Black Orpheus. Does anybody know this? This is quite a classic and favorite of many people. This is from 1959. It's directed by the French director Marcel Camus, and it's Black Orpheus. So it's the story of Orpheus and Eurydice. And if you know, then you know, you know the story, you know, the myth. But this takes place, you know, like I guess in the 50s, the contemporary time in which it was made, in Rio de Janeiro during Carnival. And the film is just, I feel like everybody is overusing the word immersive, but these days, but it is. The music it just never stops. There's this constant drumbeat throughout the whole film, and it happens sort of like in real time. I think the entire story takes place over a span of 2 days or a day and a half. So it is beautiful. I like it. I mean, it's not for everybody, but I think it's beautiful. The Red Shoes. This is, you know, a Michael Powell and Mark Pressburger film from 1948, I think. 1948. Everybody knows The Red Shoes, so I really don't have to say much of anything else. But my daughter had never seen it, and I'm like, you need to see The Red Shoes. And she really loved it. And I think it's quite a feminist story, really. And I don't want to say why, because I don't want to give anything away. But if you disagree with that, that's fine. We can have a discussion about it. But if you agree with me, I'd also like to talk about it because I love this movie. And if you just love Technicolor, it's gorgeous. So, and it stars a real ballet dancer. So it's just great. It's one of the best. The Horn Blows at Midnight. This is another Jack Benny. So funny. I loved this movie as a kid. It's just goofy. This is 1945, and it's just this musician. He falls asleep and has this silly dream, and I don't really need to talk about it. But does anybody know The Horn Blows at Midnight? It made me laugh and laugh when I was a kid, and I watched it again with my family. I hadn't seen it in years, and I laughed just as hard at certain scenes. It's so funny. And there's some good musician humor in there too. And finally, we watched Mahler, which is funny because I was just talking about Mahler in my last video. This is another Ken Russell film. Okay, so this is not another one that's not really a family film, but for Ken Russell, it's pretty mild because I've seen a bunch of his movies that I wouldn't be comfortable watching with my daughter until she's maybe a young adult. You know, just, this is not as tame as The Boyfriend, which I discussed some videos back, but there's a little bit of nudity in it. And, you know, there's some other, there's not just nudity, but there's a little bit of violence that might be upsetting for certain people. But I deemed it okay. I deemed it appropriate to watch with her. I kind of closed her eyes a little bit during one scene. But yeah, if you have a child like and they're a teenager, and they really really love this type of music, if they're into classical music and stuff, then you might want to watch this with them. But whatever. I don't know what I'm going on about. I just always mention, like, because I'm always talking about how I'm watching things with my daughter. So I don't want anybody to just assume, if you're watching and have kids, that these are all like PG. This isn't, but it's not that bad. But this is a brilliant film, and I think Criterion should really release an edition of this. This is like out of print. It's ridiculous. It's so good. It's just, it's not for everybody. It's I'm not going to talk about it anymore because I'm just going on too much and I still have things to talk about. But if anybody knows Mahler, please comment below. It's fun. So I mentioned how we got some records, and I'll just show some of them that I've accumulated over the past couple of months. So here we go. So E. Power Biggs, some Bach. So I have, I think I've had this on CD for years, and I found this beautiful record secondhand, and I think I found it at a thrift store, and it's so beautiful. I just love the cover art. At our little shop there that we found in Salem, I got Talking Heads, Fear of Music. I love the Talking Heads, if I didn't already tell you. The Doors, The Soft Parade. This is a vintage one, but it wasn't overpriced at all. I think this was like $14, which is really cool. And I love The Soft Parade. I think it's awesome. I love all of their albums. I know some people aren't as fond of this one, but I love it. Okay, György Ligeti. This is the Requiem and the Lontano and the harpsichord thing, the continuum for harpsichord. Don't you just love this cover art here? Look at this, beautiful. Okay, so I ordered this, and funny story about this is I was doing my daughter's hair for her dance recital, and I hate doing it. I hated sitting to get my hair done as a child, and so I never learned how to French braid. I never learned to do a lot of stuff because I hated it. So I had to put her hair in this like really tight dancer's bun, you know, because when they're dancing on stage, if you don't get it right, it's all gonna fly out. And I couldn't relax. I needed music, and nothing was working. So I put this on, and if anybody knows Ligeti's music, you might be laughing right now, but this relaxes me, right? So my boyfriend wasn't at home at the time. He was out for a walk, and I told my daughter, who was just sitting very quietly and not commenting at all on the music, I'm like, he's gonna come home and he's gonna walk in and he's gonna just be like, what the F? Like, what is this? And I was right. He came in, he walked through the door, and he just stood there for like a minute. And then he walked up the stairs very slowly. And I was like, be quiet, this relaxes me. Because it does. He's like, yeah, so relaxing. I don't feel unsettled at all. Monteverdi, Tancredi. Look how beautiful this is. I also ordered this one online for a very affordable price. I think it was like $10. I love Monteverdi. Ah, beautiful. This one was a record store day thing, and I was really excited about it. They re-released the Doors live in Stockholm, you know, at the Concerthuset, however you pronounce that. So I wanted to get it while I could because it's ridiculous, the prices of these, especially when they go out of print. And it's I don't feel like pulling them out, but they're blue, or maybe I will. No, I don't want to. I don't want to ruin anything for the sake of the video. But the records are blue, and because I love to listen to music in the car, I also got the CD. So there's that. You guys know I love the Doors. And also a record store day thing. I love Supreme live, John Coltrane. I haven't even pulled it out yet. I wanted to listen to this one day, and this, record store day was in April, and I wanted to listen to it one day. My boyfriend's like, too edgy for me right now. I mean, he loves Coltrane too, but he was just, I don't know, he was in a mood. And some of my music he considers a little bit edgy, but I love Coltrane. So I'm so excited to listen to this live in Seattle. So love Supreme too. I'll just show a few decks that I worked with, not all of them, and it's the Yonasa Yaus. So you guys know the love affair that I've been having with this deck. And I have like 3 editions of this. It's always such a clear, spot on reader for me. And I love I think I mentioned this already, but I love the little write-up that she did for all of the cards that you can find on the website, and I printed it out. It's Marseille based. It's so beautiful. Okay, Godzilla is vibrating. He's here again. I think he'll probably be in all of these videos. My Thoth AGM, I used this quite a bit. Yeah, it's just, I really love it. What can I say about it? I don't know, they're probably not showing up very great in this light, so I'm going to move on. Another one is the Fournier Marseille. This is so cute. So love the colors and the way that the softness of these paintings. Let's see if I can get closer. Maybe I'll do that. Not used to this. There's like, I can't get away from that light. Oh, there we go. Maybe that's better. It's just it's really beautiful. I really am not good at this. Why is this one so much worse than the last deck I showed? I don't get it. But let's see. Oh, look at the moon. Oh, there, I need to like angle it down. So great. Okay, Albano Weight. It's just another one that it's just always read so well for me. And I can't remember the last time I used another straight up RWS like this. I think it's been years, which is kind of insane because I have others. But I don't collect these for some reason. I don't collect like vintage RWSs like I do with some of the other decks like Thoth. But you guys know I love my Albano. I just really took to this deck from the get-go. And also the Maria Tarot. I showed this in my, oh, look at that, 9 of Wands. 5 of Cups. Yeah. Tower. Love that Hierophant. Prince of Wands, that's me. Oh, this was supposed to go in with the music. I bought this little Police CD when we were at the record store. I'm so random. But I love the Police. They're so good. And I'm like, my daughter needs to listen to the police. So I bought this so we could listen to this in the car on you know, when we're going here and there. Fun. A recent acquisition is the Oracle Baleen. It's so cute. So I got this, I think I got this back in May or maybe early June. And I have the Grand Tarot Baleen, so of course I wanted the Oracle, and I got one of the books. There's more than one book, and I didn't bring it in here, but look how sweet this is. The Oracle is much more affordable than the Tarot. And like my hands are like all over the place, all in the way. Look how cute. This isn't like a vintage copy or anything. I love it, and I can't wait to learn more about it. But yeah, I think I'm gonna wrap this up. Oh, I love that. I love the colors. It's just something about it. I just really love the feel of this whole thing. I think I'm gonna have a lot of fun with it. But anyway, I'm gonna wrap this up soon, but I have some other things planned. I'm going to do another music video. Yeah, I'm gonna do a music video, guys. I'm gonna be like dancing and stuff. No. I'm going to be doing a VR to the lovely Mad Witch soon. Highlighting some of my favorite classical albums as requested. And I talked about it years ago. Yeah, Where Is My Mind Tonight? I talked about it ages ago that I was going to do a journal and stationery, maybe even pen video, and I will do it. I promise I will do it. I am going to do it soon. Now that I did this, I feel like I can do some other things. What else did I have? I have, you know, I should probably do what I've read recently and maybe a book haul. But, and I have some one or two deck comparison videos that I'm going to be doing. And I'm going to try to get them done within the next couple of days. But yeah, after all that activity and everything that I had this week, I had a very busy 4th of July. I'll talk about that in the next video for July. But after all of that, I got really, really sick. I was so sick, I was in bed for a couple of days. And during those 2 days, those are the days that I was originally planning on recording because the house was going to be really quiet because nobody was going to be home. But instead, I was in bed. So I'm just recovering from that. So I don't know what I look like. And I probably look like a mess. I'm so out of shape from not moving. Like my hips actually hurt from not moving in bed. Oh my God. I'm so glad that, guys, I'm all better. I'm all better. But like, yeah, I have a lot to do. And I don't know why I'm all apologetic. And oh my gosh, my hair is just, oh, I'm not going to refilm, but it's the heat. It's all, and I had a long day. Okay. Thank you for hanging out with me, and that'll about do it. Okay. Bye, guys.